Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Artist and the Thinker podcast. I am Elle Speaks, the artist.
And I'm Terrence B, the thinker.
And today we have two interesting topics. The first one is Lala Milan and her recent, I think it was a stream she did, as well as this guy who is considered a homosexual, and some of the interesting things that he is saying that he is looking for in a woman while being homeless, no job, no nothing, with a lot of health issues. So take it away, Terrence.
Okay, La La Milan. I came across this on social media, and I was talking to L Sweets, and I was like, "Yo, how do you feel about this?" Because I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of the relationship. I don't know if it ended on a bad term or if she's actually still in a relationship with the guy. And I believe, me personally, if they broke up, then that explains some of the reasons why she would low, talk that way about a man because of the bitterness and the of the relationship and how it ended. But the thing that bothered me the most is that one, you have your child in your arm, the child that y'all have together in your arm, talking down on his father, and I'm like, you can feel whatever you feel, but you're not supposed to do that in front of your child.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to do that like in front of your kids, yet alone talk about them in front of other people with the child sitting in your lap. Because you think that, oh, he's just a baby. He ain't gonna understand this. Kids are very observant
And they gotta grow up.
and they gotta grow up in their sponges and they remember things. I know this because I was once one of those kids. And so it's important for you all to like be careful what you're saying around your kids because they will remember that. And now, on the other subject of the hobosexual, is that what you call it?
Yeah,
When I
homosexual.
saw this video, me as a man, you felt sorry for the brother because he was like, "Hi, my name is such and such. And, I got heart issues and blood clots." I was like, "Damn, homie, you need to get your health right, homie. You need to start looking at some meds and getting on some meds." I didn't know at this point this nigga was homeless. He was like, "But I'm just looking for love." And I was like, "Well, there ain't nothing wrong with a man that still wants to find companionship and you have these conditions like heart conditions and blood clots." Because I thought that's all it was. Now, you heard me, Sweet. I thought that's all it was. This nigga said, "I'm homeless. I ain't got no job, and I'm homeless."
Mm-hmm.
And I said,
I'm looking for
"Oh,"
love.
I went like this. I was like, "Look, Sweet, I look like this."
I know. I
And
know.
then he was like, "This the shit that got me." This man said, "I know I'm homeless and I know I got these all these conditions, but I still can't get a little." I was like, "Hell, nigga, no,
Dude, you got
nigga,
bigger fish
no."
to
And
fry.
me as a man, I'm like, your priorities are jacked up. And what he sounds like is a bum ass nigga that just need a roof over his head and he'll give you some dick in exchange
Yeah.
for,
Oh, yeah.
for,
That's it. That's
for a
it.
roof
That's
over his
it.
head. And this is the
He,
thing, Sweets has talked about this before. She just
yeah.
she
There's a
just
lot
didn't.
of them.
She was like, "There's a lot of these niggas out here that do this stuff," and I was like, I was shocked. I was like, as a man, because I'm like,
Listen,
what?
they come in all different shapes and
And she was
sizes.
like, yes, they do, and I was like, they be doing this for real, and she was like, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then so
Homosexual.
he was
Yeah.
sitting there, and I was just shocked because I'm sitting there looking at this dude like,
He was like boss level though. He was boss level.
but I'm
I
sitting
just
there
want to throw
looking
that
at
out
this
there.
dude like, dude, first and foremost, you should focus on your health and getting your health right, so therefore you can perform properly. And I was like, secondly, get you a job and a house. that would probably get you all of the things you're looking for. No hezzy, no hesitation. Am I wrong? If he had a job,
You're right.
he's focused on his health, he's working, he's got a roof over his head, he's taking care of himself, and he's self sufficient, wouldn't that get him some? That would get
Yeah,
him
and
some.
even with the health thing, there's still women who would still love to eat him up no matter what his health issue is. That part right
Right.
there wouldn't be an issue for some women. But here's the kicker, because the comments. Let me
Oh
chime in on
God.
this.
Oh God.
So don't laugh at me. Just agree with me. Understand.
She
Listen.
agree with me.
So one thing I always say is go to the comments, because the comments are going to tell you a lot. They're either going to go left or right, or you're going to have some division. And then sometimes you got a lot of delusions. Okay. And to find out that this man was offered work and he said no,
Oh my
gives you
God.
a lot of what he wants. He wanted requirements and he literally has nothing. I understand grief. I understand health issues, but you have no job. You have no roof over your head, but you still feel that a woman needs to be able to cook, clean, and take care of things. Oh, and make sure she give you, you know what, and don't forget about in the mornings as well. Okay, and then you wanted to take it a step further and try to shame black women and say, well, even nobody, I don't have no problem dating a white woman. Da, 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 da. And it's like, first of all, I don't care. I don't care who you date. If a woman chooses to date you with all of this, hey, that's her. But there are a lot of homosexuals who are out here getting over on women. I mean, laying it on thick. And they come in all different forms, fashions, colors, shapes, and sizes, whether you want to believe it or not. You have some who will have a job, but be saving that money up on you. You will have some who will be driving your car, delegating and telling you what to do in your house, sit on the couch all day and play video games. And then you got some of them got the audacity to be running around here sleeping with other women. And you the one cleaning that shit steams off.
Oh my
So
God.
be mindful of these homosexuals and they will try to manipulate you. And heck, there's some women doing the same. There's some female homosexuals. I don't want to sit here and make it seem like I'm coming down on men, but there are some who will sit there and they will leech off of you, but then expect you to have this whole check sheet of things that you got to be. You need to be able to cook. You need to be able to clean. You need to be able to service them, and you can't do none of the things on the list yourself.
I believe
And
that
they
only
want to guilt
applies to
trip
people
somebody.
that are have a job, have their health right, got a roof over their head. And I was like, that only applies to people that have something to bring to the table as well. I don't think that applies to him. But what are your thoughts on the Lola Milan thing?
Oh yeah, and before, because I just that made me look. I was about to go into that darn bubble pop, the pop the balloon thing, because that shows you a lot of stuff too. I mean, I think I could sit and watch that. I'm gonna get on Lola, um, but could sit and watch how some of the criteria some of these people have
Are not
are
realistic?
wild. And there is quick. I want to speak on this part too. There was a video I sent you, and one thing there's a couple words that float around and a lot of people don't understand it or sometimes people misuse it. Simp, sassy men, and um what is it? Pygmies. Those three terms have been overused and misused.
Yep.
And a lot of guys that get called sassy, I do think some women, y'all need to stop because y'all sit here and think y'all can say anything to a man and not expect him to speak up for himself. You are delusional. There's a huge difference between a man being quote unquote sassy and defending himself or not letting you sit here Think you can call him everything under God's green earth, and he can't say nothing back. Now, when it comes to simps, give me a simp. Give me a man who loves me and all about me over a man who ain't gonna do nothing but lie and cheat. Give me a man who wants to be lovey dovey. I'm all for it. Thank you for having it. Yes. And then when it comes to pick me's, there are some women who are pick me's, and there's some guys, I guess, who are pick me's who have no problem being that. But with a pick me is not just any woman defending a man. A pick me is a woman saying, I do it, I do it. I'm gonna hold you down, and you know all he's doing is giving you toxic love. But I'm gonna hold you down because you want to prove a point to other women that you will do it, that you will settle for their BS. That is a pick me.
It's
So the
funny.
reason why I said that is because of this man, and I wish I could insert the clip for it to be heard and understood. This guy, he says, listen, he tells the women, I'm not for no woman being disrespectful for me. She be disrespectful for me. My sisters are gonna come see her. And the girl was like, wait a minute, what? Your sisters? And he was like, yeah, ain't no woman about to be being disrespectful to me. And you could tell he got anger issues how he was talking. And the woman was like, hold up. So he was like, well, how would you feel if somebody put their hands on your son? How would you feel? She's like, I understand that. You talking about violence, but you said disrespectful, like anything, right? And then there was a part where he got mad at a woman and he was like, I ain't got to take that. I mean, he was just like, and she was just like,
He was
all I
sounding
said
kind of
was, I was
zesty
not
on the phone.
interested.
He was just sounding a little
So,
zesty on the zesty side. And I don't mean to judge nobody, but he did have a little hint of zesty. I was like,
I mean,
usually
because
I would say,
he was very,
I was like, I usually would say, like, she was wrong in saying that he was sassy,
hmm
but the way his kind of like dialect and how he was moving, I could see why she would say that. I'm not defending it,
hmm
but I was sitting there like, you not so damn. I was sitting there like, damn.
yeah, it
Like,
went,
I
and
can't,
that's why I was like,
I can't
because
defend it because I'm like, shit, I can't even defend him because, eh, homie, you're looking kind of zesty over here. Now, if
yeah,
you had some bass in your voice and was like, look here, I'm not gonna tolerate no disrespect from a woman. You can't just say whatever you want to me and not expect
hmm
me to say anything back. That's not
yep.
me being a sassy
There's,
man. That's me being a man. Period. You see the difference in the way I said it versus
hmm
how he said it? Cause he would be like, "Hold on,
there's,
you're not gonna disrespect me as a man in here." Like I asked you a question, you said what you said, and I'm like, "You say I'm sassy? I don't understand what that means." And because I have a retort to what you just said, you label me sassy? No, woman, I'm a
mm.
man.
Now, and now I got another one for you. So I don't know if I sent this guy to you. This one blew my mind. Well, not blew my mind. I was just like, what was your point? So he was a nice looking guy, and he asked the lady, he was like, hey, he was like, where are you when it comes to thinking about getting serious like marriage? If you're say you're 3 months in and I start talking about marriage, how would you feel about that? And she was like, well, I'm dating to marry. And he was like, okay. He said, so how would you establish that? She said, well, if one of us brings up the topic, if you bring the topic up, he's like, oh, so he said if I take the lead. She's like, sure, because I am serious. So in 3 months, if you decide to talk to me, start talking about marriage, I'm fine with that because that's the direction that I am. That's my goal in dating.
Yeah.
He popped this girl a balloon and told her, he said, he
What
said,
the
that's too
hell?
soon for me. It take years. It take years to get to know somebody. Ladies, that is a red flag right there. That is a man who will have you in a 10 plus
Fire.
relationship, still telling you, I'm not ready. I think we should take our time. No, it does not take that much time to know if you are supposed to be with somebody or not.
So
It
what?
don't take, let me tell you. I have learned, and this is a whole different topic for a different day. It does not take a long time to find out if someone is meant to be with you. It does not take that long. It can happen. I used to believe it couldn't. It can happen in a day. It can happen in a week. It can happen in months. The time span can arrange in different ways, but it should not succeed a whole year. If it takes you a year of dating someone, consistent dating someone, I mean, like really in your face, you guys are talking all the time, y'all going out, y'all doing all these things, and that person after that whole entire year still hadn't figured it out, honey, they ain't the person for you. They waiting for something else.
And this is the thing about that I say is that that man, I think he was right to quote out that that was a red flag because if people are both genuinely on the same mindset,
Hmm.
like you're dating with the purpose of being married, I'm dating with the purpose of being married. I agree with you. It shouldn't take that long. So in 3 months, we talking about marriage because this is the same time that both of us are on, and we've had this conversation,
Hmm.
and we agree that we're both on the same path together. Then I don't see the problem in that. Now, I do also agree with Sweet saying it shouldn't take no more than a year um, to know that you're going to marry somebody because
It
it goes
depends.
back to the mindset that people are genuinely in, which is why when I said, remember when I said it's important for males and females to ask a person, so you here for a long time or a good time? I
Hmm.
think it's okay. I think it's
Hmm.
cool. I think it's cool for a male or a female to ask that because
Yep.
with that, you get the understanding of what the energy is. If you're
You
saying
right.
I'm here for a good time, okay, I know what this energy is.
Hmm.
Let's have a good time in this
Hmm.
moment. You know what I'm saying? But if you're saying, well, I'm here for a long time. Oh, you are?
Well, you have
Okay.
answered it.
Let's talk about that. And so let's have a conversation about that. How does
Hmm.
that look? How is it gonna go? Because I'm on that same time. And you know what I'm saying? Now how's that gonna look for both of us? And like I believe that's important to always keep that in mind. And it's no problem with asking a girl, you here for a long time or a good time. It's no it's
Because I
no
think,
there's nothing wrong with a girl asking a man, you here for a long time or a good time.
hmm,
And now it's not
you know,
necessarily to break it off or anything. It's just to know what energy to bring to the table.
hmm, and I think where a lot of men kind of mess up is y'all get worried. If I tell her, if I say, well, no, I ain't trying to be serious, that she gonna say no. There's a lot of girls who like to put it on. They like to throw it back and they ain't serious. Okay. There are a
Mhm.
lot of them. They do exist. I ain't saying I'm one of them, but I'm just saying they do exist. So I think you're laughing at me, but I'm being honest. There are a
Yeah.
lot of them and they do exist. I think where the big holdup is a lot of people have that fear of rejection, but sitting here stringing people along, no ma'am, no sir. No ma'am,
Yeah.
no sir.
That's
Um, but we have talked about the red balloon show a lot, and it's interesting to see how a lot of people respond. Now, one thing I'm gonna say that a lot of people now in the era we live in don't want to say it that part out loud is yes, appearance does matter. Appearance does. If you are attracted to someone is important. Now, what attraction looks like to you may vary. Everybody's standards of beauty are different.
hmm
That's the truth. Everyone's standards are different. But you have to be attracted, somewhat attracted to your person. If not, there's going to be problems. I don't care what nobody says.
this is
I
true.
don't care what nobody says. So you see with this show, a lot of people lead with attractions, and sometimes they jump the gun, and then some of them spot on. You know, so I just wanted to kind of throw that in there with some of our topics today because I see those words get misused. Um, and just like hobosexual, people who aren't familiar with it, there are people who are hobos. They hobos looking for a couch. You got some of these men will come with a black paper bag. I mean, trash
Trash
bag.
bag.
I'm serious. Listen, they just be lugging their trash bag from house to house. And let me tell you another type of hobosexual. While we on it, I just thought about one. I had a friend way back when.
Way back
She was in
when.
a polyamorous relationship with this guy.
Oh.
He done convinced her, and not one, but two other chicks that they could let's do this whole poly thing, right? Now he had it so good, and then he ended up messing up. Guess what happened? Babies came in the picture. So not only did he have this poly thing going on where he bounced between these three women, he had made children with all three of them,
Oh my
right?
god.
It would be two women on one going back and forth beefing with each other, and they were intertwined. Whole time he done bought himself a brand new Camaro, and he had three kids under the age of two. How they gonna fit in a Camaro? But then I got even more. This is where the homosexual part comes out. Guess where he lived?
Well,
In his grandmother. Get in the camera so you can see this, sir.
okay.
You ready? Are you
Yeah.
ready? He lived in his grandmother's basement
Whoa, 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 whoa,
and was
whoa, whoa,
driving
whoa, whoa, whoa.
trucks.
Hold
And
on.
when he
Wait.
was not driving, well, when he was not driving trucks, he was living in the basement, and then he was bouncing from this house to that house to that house. That's a whole nother level of homosexual.
Papa
Just
was a
saying.
rolling stone. Do, 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 do. Do wherever he laid his head was his home.
And when he died,
And
no,
all
all he left
he
was a
ever
Camaro.
did was
Listen,
alone. Alone, literally.
you you hear me? Literally, this guy didn't even have his own place, but he was managing to go, and then he had the audacity. Guess when he would pop up at the houses around about 9 o'clock? Guess who putting these women putting children to sleep? Cause all he was wanting was a little bit of
Little bit of,
let me get them leftovers.
let me
Let me
get
get
some
them
time. Let me get
leftovers.
that
Then
time.
look, yeah, look, get leftovers, then sex you up real good, sleep over, maybe. You know he always go to the basement.
That's crazy.
And then go to the next. Then you know he beef with you. He got two other ones. Women, men, especially women. Stop letting these men play you. Stop letting them to convince you to get in these type of lifestyles because they dodging real responsibilities. And I mean it because this man was dodging all the responsibilities. He
Yeah.
was dodging how to actually be an active father in his children's life.
Hmm?
He was dodging how to be a committed person. He was dodging knowing what it was like to actually pay genuine bills. Like he was so selfish that this man went and bought his dream car over worrying about how do I get all three of my children together without there being a problem.
Yep. And this is crazy. Like that poly BS because I believe we've had a conversation about this before, sweets. I believe only way that works
It don't
is
work.
it don't work because of the simple fact it's about
People
ego. It's
lie,
not
say it
about
do, but it don't.
it's not about genuinely having a connection. It's about
And there gonna be
ego,
people that will say it.
catering to
They
your
lying. They don't
egos.
know.
It's about catering to your egos. Let's just keep it all the way funky. It's about catering to egos.
Mhm.
I don't know why people do it. I'll be like, uh, okay. I've never had nobody ask me to do that. But it's just I'm like, it's about ego. It's ego tripping.
Mhm.
And so I'm like, y'all ego tripping. This is not about building a connection with somebody or
And
someone.
I try not to be a person to knock, somebody's get down had a sure wagon, you can push it or pull it, right?
Yeah.
I'm still gonna be that person. But I will say, given when you get to see behind the curtain of certain lifestyles, and I mean, there's a lot of lifestyles I can speak on that people still be sitting here, just like we said before, they'll ride it to the hook, but they know deep down it ain't working.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the best examples of how a polyamorous relationship can go south fast.
Mm-hmm.
And it did, and I mean all of the nonsense and arguing in between, and the women going against each other, and just then children getting put in the mix, and just so much, just a lot of chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Um, And it just go. But once again, he was a homosexual for sure.
Yeah. I was like,
Now,
nigga, what? Like I was like, hold up, you came up with this idea and you
mhm.
ain't got your own nigga.
Nope, he was bouncing from house to house. He was. I
Papa was
mean, it
around
was.
town for sure. Oh
When
boy,
I
boy.
found out, because I remember my friend, she wanted to convince me about how it. She was like, "Nah, it works." Da, da, da." And I remember one of the few times I was over there at her house, and he was there, and they got into it, and it was like a normal relationship getting to it of like, "Hey, I'm your queen, you're my king" type stuff, and like he even said to her, "Hey, this ain't how it works," and she like, "But I'm number one." No, that ain't how it's supposed to work. So,
Mm-mm.
yeah, it, it was a lot of flaws. And I mean, even people I know who are in quote unquote open relationships, you still see that part of them where you want it to be just you and that person. You
Yeah,
know, people will make excuses, and we can't make excuses for people's infidelities and them saying, because of this and that. But you should be that person for them. It shouldn't be
yeah.
you, Brittany, Jessica, and Jennifer. No, because
Man,
that's how I look at it. Listen,
I'm like, man. Mm.
I ain't good enough just me. So yeah, those things get real, real tricky. Now with old girl, what's her name?
Oh my
Lola.
god.
I was about to say Lola Monroe. No. Um, what's her name?
Lola Milan.
Thank you. I want to make sure I said it right. Lola Milan. Even though I've watched her for years, it's crazy. I watched her so many years, and I don't think I really paid attention to what her name was. So, a lot what because I've seen so before the video you sent me, I had seen a video. It was Tasha K. I love just Tasha K and her messiness. Sometimes she's a little too messy, but I do like some Tasha K.
Mm,
She had posted a little snippet of the actual, I think it was a Discord. She was doing like a Discord or something, whatever she was streaming on. She was streaming on something. She
yeah,
was holding a child, and I was confused. And I was like, is she saying that she's dating a woman or trans? I couldn't understand what she was saying at first when I strolled past it, and then I realized she was talking about her ex. Now, a lot of people thought, to my knowledge, a lot of people thought they were married. She kind of made it seem like they were married, but they weren't married. Indeed, they were just dating and they had a baby together. And a lot of people had been telling her that he was not there for her, that he really didn't care about her. And I guess the truth started showing and how she described him as saying like, oh, it was like dating a woman, da da da, I might as well, and going on about it. It's like some things I strongly feel are kitchen table talk discussions. I learned
yeah,
that from Wendy Williams, that there's some conversations, especially about our personal business, where I am talking about me or talking about someone that should not be discussed for all of social media and the world to see. Because what's going to happen is that child is going to grow up and they're going to see it. Just like when we talk about a lot of things like people who choose to who do, adult entertainment, there's that big factor of what happens when your children gets older and they have to deal with
yeah,
bullying. So even they're two different extremes, but you have to be careful what you put out there, especially when it affects children who don't have any say. And once you put it out there and the world is out there, whatever beef you and him got going, y'all got going. And I know she did make a statement. She said, "Well, I do stand up. It's something I would joke about." True, she does. She is a comedian.
yeah,
So I think if she had led with that as something she did on stand up and she joked about it, then we it might not look as bad as it looked with her holding the baby and how she was going in on that rant.
yeah,
Um, so that's pretty much my takeaway with it is just like be careful. I mean, I don't know what the guy was doing to her, but now we all know. Now we all
Yeah,
know.
and I'm
We
like,
all in a relationship.
and the crazy thing is that like the thing that bothered me that I agreed with the woman in the video about is that you have your child in your lap,
Hmm.
talking down on the father, and like if you got something to say, cool, but don't have your kid in your lap doing it.
Yeah,
Cause
she could have went
you have
about it a
to
different
think
approach.
about you're doing this on a streaming platform. So that makes it observant to everybody that tunes in and every place it gets
Hmm.
posted. So naturally, everybody's gonna have an opinion about it. And clearly this woman had an opinion about it. She was like, you shouldn't have your child in your lap talking about this man. But he's a baby, he don't know. It don't
You know
matter.
what? The irony of it, because Nosy, she in trouble too. The person who you talk about, that's Nosy. Nosy behind just got in
Yeah, and
trouble too
I'm like,
for
homie.
cyberbullying.
Yeah, but I'm like, homie, like, you shouldn't like I agree with her that you shouldn't have your child in that position because one, you put your child in a position that they didn't choose to be in, and everybody have an opinion on this child, but you put him in that position. You're on a
Yep.
streaming platform holding your child so everybody can see and everybody has an opinion or comment or say so. You can't control what
Hmm.
is said. And it varies and it goes from the child, what you're saying about his father, why you're saying this on a platform that's being streamed to everybody, and why are you bringing
Hmm.
this specifically because you're hurt and you're bringing this out for everybody to hear about when that's something that you're supposed to handle behind closed doors. But you put yourself in the position for everybody to have an opinion on it.
Yep.
So
And ain't no taking it back.
you can't get
Ain't no
mad.
taking it back.
You know where you were. You knew you was on a streaming platform. You knew what you said was going to be viewed by millions and thousands of people. And so you can't control what millions and thousands of people say or what their opinions because you put yourself in that position to be judged.
Hmm.
So, man, some things shouldn't be is not meant for everybody to hear about. I understand you may be
Just
hurt
leave.
by a personal situation, but out of respect for yourself and your child and whatever issues y'all may have, some things shouldn't be brought up in front of everybody. They don't need to hear about it. And then you get pissed why everybody has an opinion on your life because you put yourselves in those positions to be judged by everybody.
Hmm.
So you can't get mad at them because you put yourself in that position.
I agree. And so this is another thing about relationships. I do want to actually talk about this one since this, I think we've been talking about a lot of different relationship aspects. Um, so I've seen this a couple times because of a group I think I'm following, and my algorithm, you know, just keeps showing stuff like this. But a lot of women not getting wedding proposals, but getting girlfriend proposals.
What?
And yes, and I mean like laid out. Well, and I'm not talking about teenagers. I want to make this clear. I am not talking
Grown ass
about
women.
grown people. Okay. What's the girl? I don't know if she was mixed or she was just white. She was doing a dance, not where the fans at. One. What's the other one? The ride it, and she was like everywhere dancing.
Mm-hmm.
That so apparently the guy comes in. He's got a sign and flowers, and he surprised her. And he opens up the sign that says, "Will you be my girlfriend?" She carrying on, running around, jumping in the air in his arms. Everything. You would have thought he asked her to marry her. No, he just said girlfriend. So I always say the comments. Someone said,
Oh
"Girl,
shit.
you done hopped on 2 planes, drove 4 hours, and y'all wasn't boyfriend and girlfriend. Y'all was running around here taking all these pictures, booed up, hugged up, doing all the boyfriend girlfriend things, and he hadn't even called you his girlfriend." Women, We need to do better. Men, you need to do better. Because this is in high school. Now, if you I said, oh, it was his high school, will you be my girlfriend? Promise ring type stuff. I'm like, oh, that's so dope.
That's
Middle
what I was
school,
about to say. I was
that's
like,
cute.
girlfriend went
But
out at
these are
18.
adults. Adults. And I'm like, one thing I can laugh about is I don't know which one's worse. A, finding out you're in a relationship, because I have spent several there's been several occasions throughout my life where I found out I was somebody's girlfriend through the most random. I said, we there? I didn't know I was your girlfriend. Really? I've had that happen to me a lot of times.
Yeah.
Then the normal, we talk about it and we agree that we're gonna take it to that step. Uh-uh. And apparently, I've never experienced C, the whole "Will you be my girlfriend?" after we've been kind of doing all that stuff for like months. So I think it's crazy, and that's why I want to hear your take on it. Like,
Okay. Let
this
me
is
let me
where we
just
are.
break down this girlfriend thing. I think after high school, girlfriend transitions into my lady because I'm like, after that, you in college, you still talking about girlfriend stuff. I was like, one,
I still
it's
think you can be
nothing wrong if
girlfriend,
you're
boyfriend
doing
in college.
everything that because you've even got on me about this. So because I was in a predicament with of a she was like, and my friend Sweets asked me, she was like, yeah, are y'all together? I was like, I don't know. She was like, nigga, what you mean you don't know? I was like, we
Yo,
just haven't
no,
talked
like,
about it. And he was like, yo, are y'all going out places together? Yeah. Are y'all are y'all spending time with each other? Yeah. Are y'all
are
clapping?
you
Are you getting them yams? Yeah. This nigga y'all together. What the fuck you mean?
y'all together?
Like the nigga y'all
Like,
together. But it wasn't as I thought. So there you have it.
this is why conversation amongst two adults should be had. Okay, because there are a lot of people out here that been in relationships with you that you ain't been in relationships. Okay, and then you got. I mean, it sounds crazy, but my thing, and I feel like we've talked about this before, how so many people have gotten themselves in situationships, and
Yep.
it's complicated to the point
I don't even like
that
that. That
acknowledging, but it has gotten to a point that acknowledging we are boyfriend and girlfriend, we are in a relationship is a challenging thing. It's so challenging that you have to make a public announcement or you have to literally sneak it out. Because when I say sneak it out, it I was out with this guy. I think we had went on like maybe like 3 dates. We went on like
mhm.
3 dates, and maybe we went on maybe about 5 dates. I don't know. Now that I think about it, but we had went out and we went to this thing. I hopped on the back of his bike, went to this there were all these bikers and stuff, and it was cute, because on the low they might have been riding bikes and they was in a biker gang, but they was like really like lawyers and doctors and like high officials. But I digress. And we're on like this little patio area, just talking, sipping a drink. And this girl comes over with a group of girls. She's like, "Oh my God!" She's like so excited to see him. He's looking at her. I'm looking at him. She's looking at me. I'm looking at her. We
Look at
looking at each other.
me.
Everybody's looking at
I look at
everybody.
him.
And she's like, "You don't remember me?" He was like, oh yeah, that baby shower." She was like, "Yeah, you remember?" And she was like, he was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, hey, this is my girlfriend right here." And I was like,
Hold up.
"Hey." And at first I was like, is he saying this to run her away or he legit? So afterwards he discussed, he was like, you're my girlfriend. You gotta actually make sure you make that presence known because she's just gonna keep going. Da, 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 da." And I was like, I just found out I was your girlfriend. And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah. But I mean, I'm okay with it. But yeah, like,
Those
but
conversations
I
are
done had
very
it.
important,
I
ladies
done
and
had it
gentlemen.
happen a couple times. And then sometimes I've had the actual discussion of, all right, so we dating. But yeah, I just think I think where the confusion is coming is I don't think you should be doing grand um
Yes.
girlfriend proposals. I do think there should be conversations had with people, just like me and you talked about. If those tough conversations of, hey, what are you looking for? If
Mm-hmm.
someone tells you, hey, I am looking forward to finding someone that I want to date, and then later on, I'm looking, my goal is to be married. That means you guys are saying y'all are planning on becoming boyfriend and girlfriend, or being in a relationship until the marriage is presented, whatever you want to call it. And I know there's this big thing going around where this woman was like, I'm single until I'm married. I'm never the girlfriend until I'm. And I was like, all right, I get what you're saying. You sound cute. It sounds cute, right? Yeah, but if y'all in a relationship, you committed to him, because you will have a problem if you find out he doing the same thing with Brittany around the way. Okay, so
Right.
I got you. I think certain things need to be established, and you need to be firm about what you want.
Mm-hmm.
So when you do these big announcements, you're announcing that this is the woman you want to spend the rest of your life with, or vice versa, and not and not you want to be my girlfriend. Like, no. And then another thing. I have also seen a huge uprise of women proposing to men. Now,
I don't like that.
somebody said
I as
something.
a man, I don't like that.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't
getting
like that
on
at
one
all.
knee.
And I would stop and be like, girl, if you get on your knee, I swear for Christ. I'd be like, because check this out. This is my thing as a man. If it takes that long for me not to recognize that you are longing to be married and take this to another level, I failed
That's a
as a
red flag there.
man in that predicament, and I would be ashamed. And this is just me. I can't speak for other men like that. I've seen one dude. She did this in front of her whole family. He had another
Hmm.
chick there. Got up, left with the other chick, refused the proposal. The dad was about to go kill this dude, and I'm like, sir, for her to even do this gesture, that should make you feel some type of way as a father to your daughter. They're like, Hobo, what are
Hmm.
you doing? You are a queen, baby. You don't do that. Like, what do
But
you
you
what
know
do
what
you
it says?
it says more about the mindset of one, the man not paying attention, and two, the woman taking this such an extreme measure to see what it exactly is. And I don't think any woman should be having to be pushed to that extreme. I don't think
Hmm.
that should be an extreme that a woman should have to be pushed to get a understanding. Because that could have been in a conversation that y'all had behind closed doors, just y'all. Ain't nobody got to know about it. Y'all exodus on understanding and common ground. If it didn't work out, y'all just went y'all separate ways. But
Hmm.
to have that extreme of a proposal in a one, that pisses me off as a man. My mom asked me that, and I was like, hell no. I've been like, if you get down on your knee, I swear for Christ. It's about to be some moving furniture up in here. I'll be damned if you gonna do this. And I ain't
I
gonna put my
that
hands
is
on you, but I'll be like, I will hold you up. Like, hey, but if you try this, I swear for Christ.
I
You
think it's
about your
wild.
mind.
I mean, but we have gotten into this place where I think a woman, when you start living with a man, I think this is one thing. This is not just the woman. This is just in general. When y'all start moving into together with each other, you're that, hey, want to get, I want to get married. You know,
Yeah.
I want a serious relationship, and I think what happens, people mess up, is you give everything. You give all your all.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're with a person who's indecisive and they're not ready, or they still looking, you will find yourself once again 10 plus year relationships with people, and they ain't trying to marry you. Now I know there's
Right.
certain circumstances that may hinder the getting married process, and it could, financial things that you guys are working to achieve, so maybe education, career, certain goals. but that that window is very small because you still can work around that and be married.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If you're saying, "Oh, I want this big elaborate wedding," and you don't want to go through the process, you don't want to go through um, you don't want to go through the process of um,
Brain fart.
eloping and then getting married. Like you really want to have like a big wedding and you're like dead set on that big wedding. That's one thing. But if it's not, I do think that you got to really look at this thing. You got to make it make sense
Yeah.
because there's no reason that you should ever have moved in with each other. You done seen each other at your worst and your best in that house. Then done turned around and had children. Not one, but two, keep having babies. And this person still saying, I'm not ready for marriage. But
I'm
you ready
not
for me to give you some
ready.
you be ready for me to give you some kitty cat though without no problem.
Wow. I'm sorry.
So yeah.
But yeah,
So
and like, which is why it goes back to that question: you here for a good time or a long time? I think that plays a valid point because you know which energy to bring to the table. It doesn't mean an automatic no.
mhm.
It can just be like, okay, I don't need to put as much energy into this. You know what I'm saying? The key is not to
Mhm.
fall into a pattern of this
Yep.
person continuously wanting to just have fun and be like, again, again. And like, you don't want
Yep.
that to happen because then after that, you got to be like, all right, hold up. Now, remember, we said a good time, not a long time. You kind of giving me long time vibes. So what's up? What's going on? Which is why it's important in the nip in the
Mhm.
bud from the beginning. No, I just like waiting
Mhm.
around. So what you trying to say? You want to move this to a long term thing? Let's have a
Stand
conversation about
strong.
it. It's not hard to have these conversations, people.
It
Y'all make
really
it
isn't, but people
difficult
don't know how to
because
communicate.
yeah, because people don't know how to communicate. Two, you get comfortable with what the thing is,
Mhm.
and you want it to just be that. Okay, then tell me that it's just that. Be like, yo, I'm
Mhm.
just. It's not that I want to make this anything long term. It's just I'm real. I like what we got going on right here. It's like, okay, but just know I'm cool with that as long as it was like a one off. But you keep coming around like you wanted something more than that. So do we need to have another
Mhm.
conversation? And these conversations are not hard to have. Y'all just make it difficult as shit. And it's annoying as hell.
Yep.
And so I don't know, maybe it's because I'm older and I understand like people in their early 20s are this is like years and years away of how they should be thinking. But even people in their early 20s are getting on that time. But I think it's all because they have these genuine conversations.
Mhm.
And you should. And so
And really having the conversation, not halfway having the conversation,
yeah,
and not just playing yes man and yes women to somebody's stuff. If that's not what you want, you need to speak up because when you don't speak up right away, you will find yourself in a situationship or a long
yep,
term relationship that does have no end goal.
yep,
And that's the worst thing I think for a woman to do.
yep,
And
absolutely.
this is the one thing I'm gonna hone into women. And I usually try my best, Terrence, to always look at it from both sides. But I think when a woman wastes her 30s
Mm,
in a dead end relationship with a man, that is something she can never get back because at the end of the day, we do have a biological clock. And not saying that women cannot have babies into their late 40s and into their 50s. They can. It happens all the time. Even in their 60s, women are popping out babies. Bless their souls. But when it comes to giving some of your best years, like your 30s, when those are really those baby making years to someone, and giving like a lot of where your prime is going into your 40s to a man who does not have any intentions to marry you is crazy work. It is. And there are some people you will love people too hard. And I always say, be careful, don't love people too hard. And I mean, you see the results of people loving people so hard and it's not equally balanced. Like with old girl, we're talking about how she was bad mouthing this guy. Honey, you loved that guy at first. At first, you was all about him because you had people thinking y'all were married. So he couldn't have been that bad then for you to have been betraying all of that.
True.
To basically, it came out that he was not there for the right reasons, and that's probably why she has those feelings that she has towards him now. Now,
Um,
looking at, that's why I said we got to be careful because we will put ourselves in these little binds where we choose to give so much of ourselves, and then once we get burnt,
mm-hmm.
oh, the repercussions can be crazy. And
It'll
you
happen
have
to
these
Fury.
situations. And I tell men, listen, if you are not serious about that woman, you don't want to marry her. I don't care how good she cook. I don't care how much she clean the house and rub your back. But you still ain't got your heart fully into that woman, don't do it because you mess around, you have children, you will find yourself having to deal with her, give you a hard time. You didn't even gotta have children with them. They will make every relationship after them a hard time. You will never have peace. You will
Never
never have
have it.
peace. They'll find a way. So that's why I said stop playing with these women, stop playing with these men too, because you got a lot of men killing women. You
Yeah,
got a
because
lot
I
of
was
men
like,
taking these women out because they playing with
they ain't wrapped too tight because I was like,
them.
y'all can
Hmm.
think y'all can have a dude do all of this stuff for you and you keep stringing them along and you think that ain't gonna come back and bite you in the ass.
It
And then
will.
you end up
And I try not
oh,
to be a woman to string nobody along. But shoot, January 6th about to be here. I got a restraining order about to end right now off of somebody on some crazy mess.
I forgot
So
all about that shit. I was like,
I ain't
oh
forget
crap.
about it. But no,
I
all
hate
jokes
that it
aside,
got
not
to
trying to put
that
all my
point. I was
business
like,
out.
hold up, this nigga what?
But okay. But no, all jokes aside, um, and I wasn't doing nothing crazy. So with that being said, you got to be careful with people. Let me tell you, people tell you who they are before they tell you who they are. But what I will say is when it comes to stuff, if you don't mean well by somebody, leave them be. There's a lot of
Yep.
other people out here that have no problem with you screwing them over, doing all kind of crazy mess because they probably want to do it with you too. You better go for those.
Yep.
Leave these, leave, and I'm gonna say it again. Leave these people who say they out here looking for love and they looking for something serious alone. Leave them
Do
alone
not string them
because
along. Cause you get
because
something that'll
you
come
because
and
you
get
can
you.
get something you can't get rid of in
They'll
all
hurt you
different forms,
bad.
shapes, and sizes.
I'm telling you, they'll
So
hurt you bad. They'll hurt you bad.
they will. So
It's
I
a thin
think,
line between love and hate, ladies and gentlemen.
mhm. But you know what? Speaking of saying that, Martin was wrong in the movie. He was the bad guy.
No, Regina King was the wrong one in that video, that movie. She was the foul one. I'm gonna tell you why. This girl comes in right. She come in right, and he knew they both been feeling each other since childhood. She didn't tell him directly that she was in town. She told his mama because she knew his mama was gonna tell him. And then when she said that she was about to leave, who she tell again? His mama. Cause she knew his mama was gonna tell him. She was the real villain in this shit. For real. Cause think about it. What?
But see, I get what you're saying, but in the same breath, Martin participated.
I agree. And
He
that I
guilty
think
by
where he was
association
wrong, I
because
think
they
that where
made my girl seem like she was crazy.
no, I think where he was wrong is that
She
he
did
was
go
saying
crazy.
something that he didn't genuinely fully mean.
Yep,
He
he
did
did
it
not
just to
mean.
get the draws. And he did the one thing that he
Hmm.
said he would never do. Tell the person that you love them. And she was sitting there crying. Like, as a real man, you should have took the time and be like, listen, it seems like you're in an emotional state, so I'm gonna just step it off to the left. I don't want you to feel you have to do this to prove something to me. You know I genuinely feel for you and I genuinely want you. I don't want you to have to do this to feel like you have to prove something to me. And one, this girl told you why y'all fucking that she killed her husband. That was if that wasn't the third red flag, and you still kept going, my nigga. Nah, you got what you asked for, my nigga.
You you asked for this.
You asked for this.
You asked for
You
this.
asked for this, my
But
nigga.
I think that is a good example of like you gotta be upfront. We that's why I said it will save a lot of situations by just being honest and stop letting the kitty cat and the winkers get you all discombobulated and feeling like you need it and all of that
On that
because it'll
note,
just be
stop
messy.
fucking and thinking that believes that that's a foundation of a relationship.
It ain't.
It
And
ain't.
women, stop weaponizing tears. Stop
For real.
weaponizing tears.
Big fact.
Oh my goodness! Like I have no problem saying that women do not weaponize those tears to to get these guys to feel bad because you got some of the most narcissistic men. Trust me, I know 'em. Some of the most narcissistic men. A woman's tears would get them all soft for a
They be
second,
like,
and they'll say
yeah,
something
your
that
tears,
they don't mean.
your tears replenish me. Like,
You know, they will say something to them and they'll be like, oh, I love you. I'm sorry. Because they feel bad. So one thing, don't be confusing empathy sympathy with empathy. Okay? Because they over here sympathizing with you because you boo-hoo, girl. I can't live without you. But I did all of this stuff. And they be like, well, you did. And then they be back to the same two step because they really didn't mean it. They just felt bad watching you cry. Sympathy,
yeah,
honey. Sympathy. So I think that is one of those things that it's crazy work. It's crazy work out here in the streets. But I
I'm
do
still
think,
stuck on this homosexual. Like, I was like a
oh, because I told
homosexual.
you,
Like,
I said there's some homosexuals. Heck, listen, homosexual me, together.
I was
We know
like,
they are. And what? Because now that I have said this to you, when you sit there and you think, you could be like, I could see where he could be a think about it. You probably got the names you got in your head ain't the name that I'm even thinking about. But I could tell you some back from college
oh,
that was homosexuals.
I think
Boom!
every,
Look,
I
and
think
here
every
she
nigga,
did it.
I think every nigga back in college was a little bit of a homosexual.
Nah,
They was trying to find their
but
way after graduation. Yeah, a couple of niggas was homo. Yeah, it was like I'm trying to lay down this pipe to get a roof over my head.
hold up,
I
wait,
think
wait, wait. Pause though. You you said what now? You
I
said
was like,
every
I
every
think
guy in
even
college
after
was what?
college, niggas like after graduation was a whole bunch of homosexuals. They was just like, yo, I'm laying the
Oh,
pipe to get a roof over my head. That's all I'm trying to do. I was just trying to get a place to sit and
oh
lay my head.
Lord.
That's and you know I'm telling the truth. Don't lie.
I'm
You know
not
I'm telling the truth.
justified. I was never homosexual. There was a lot of
Don't
men
lie.
who was.
You know I'm telling the truth. And
You know who
so
I'm talking
I was
about,
like, after
though.
them graduation years, it was a little hard for they had to find their way. They had to get it how they live. You know what I'm saying? They had
Well, I don't know. Hold on. Which one's worse? The homosexuals doing their thug things or the infamous couple? She's a nurse. He's a drug dealer, aspiring rapper, and she drives a what's that car? Go ahead, name the car.
Which one? The Honda?
No, not the Honda.
Which one?
It's that Altima, that Nissan Altima.
Oh yeah, the Nissan. You can tell them. Shit.
You know it. You know it. She the nurse or she a CNA, and he aspiring a rapper.
I can't sleep at night.
Oh my god, that's why the
Some
homosexual
bullshit.
is real.
Yeah, that hope.
Like,
I was sitting there looking like the whole time this dude is talking. Me as a man, I'm sitting there looking like the
but the fact is that he had no shame. Like
none. I was
when we
like,
take a lot of the laughing aside, he had no shame, and then he came back around and still stood 10 toes down on why. And I get everyone does deserve love. But the fact of the matter is he had requirements. he had requirements that he didn't even require of himself. And that's something people got to pay
That's
attention to.
crazy.
A person giving you requirements and then they don't even have those requirements is crazy work. For you to say, "Oh, I want you to be loyal," and you can't be loyal,
That's crazy
sir.
work. Crazy work.
For you to, I mean, I think that is one of those topics that need to come to the table. Like, what discussion is like, stop having expectations for people that you can't even do.
Yeah.
Like, I know there's a whole bunch of talk about what do you bring to the table. Da, 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 da. Women and men go back and forth with things, and I do think when women say, "Oh, I want a man to be making this and that," are you able to make this and that? No, all of us are not going to be capable to make six figures. No, but are you able to get a job and work your butt off and do what you got to do to make sure your house is good? If you can say that, okay, you can meet him there with, "Hey, I know how to take care of my responsibilities and my
Also,
obligations," right?
being that you just said that, FYI, for a woman, guys, if a woman's first word out her mouth and seeing you is take me shopping or
Nope.
give me some money, she don't like you. She only likes what you can
Mm-mm.
do
You
for
like
her.
what you can give her.
She
Yep.
likes what you can give her. And then you have to ask the question, how the fuck you gonna ask me all this stuff? Can you do this for yourself? You can't get yourself a meal?
Hmm.
You can't buy your own shit?
And another, and another one because we on this one. Um, is where fathers are messing up.
Uh-oh.
You have a lot of women who expect a man to take care of her and treat her like a princess because her daddy will do it. My dad, if I call my dad, he gonna have it. He gonna have it. He gonna have this. He gonna do this, and you expect to take that into a relationship. That's something I think doesn't get talked about enough. These women hold these guys to these roles of being their father so tightly that they expect that you're supposed to do it. You think about some of them chicks that every time something mess up, who they go run to? Their dad. So they now don't get me wrong, you're supposed to run to your man for things. I'm not saying that, but you go running to them to help you out financially, buy you this, buy you that. That's why I said, well, when it
You
comes
wanna
to
know what I
parenting,
think they
parenting
miss?
life is
You
hardcore.
wanna know why I think that is? Is because they don't pay attention to the part of the Bible that says once you cling onto your husband and your wife, you release from your mother and your father. You
But
know
no,
what I'm
no, no. I'm
saying?
not saying
And
it in that way. I'm
no,
talking
I'm just
about
saying.
where they the things some of these women feel they're supposed to get from men stems from them always getting everything from their father. And what I'm saying is like these women expect you're supposed to buy them, you're supposed to take them shopping, you're supposed to make sure all these things are done. They're supposed to have their nails done. This stuff that when you were a kid, your dad had to clothe you, that your family had to feed you. You get what I'm saying? So I think that does affect a lot of this stuff. But I do think a lot of these women are delusional.
Yeah,
A
very.
lot of these women are delusional, and a lot of these men are delusional. And I'm not
Them
gonna sit
too,
here and be
especially these
all because I'm a girl's
homosexuals.
girl through and through.
Boy,
But you got
y'all.
some of these men, huh?
I said, especially these homosexuals. Boy, y'all got
A
me as a man
homosexual
looking like, what the
with
fuck
crotch
is wrong
areas.
with y'all?
You ain't gonna live that thing down, buddy.
I
Homosexuals
was
with crotch
sitting there
areas.
like, when he did the gesture like this, and for y'all that, like, you'll see it on, he was like, I know that I ain't got no job or no roof over my head, but I can't get a little, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm human. I got
Yeah.
these no, nigga, you can't.
If you don't go take yourself
Yo,
to a
take
halfway
your ass
house and
somewhere
get
to
on
the house
somewhere.
or get in a shelter somewhere, wash your ass, and get a
And
job.
the bad, you know what's bad? He looked like he was living on the street.
Because at
My
first I was
thing,
like,
but you,
like I said in the beginning, at first I was sitting there like, well, dang, man, you know what? Just because he got like health conditions doesn't mean he isn't deserving of love. He should be able to have some love. I'm thinking this nigga got a job in the place. That nigga said he was homeless. I said, hold up. I said, hold up. You prioritize horribly, sir. You
homeless and not working, not wanting to work.
homeless and not wanting to work. And this, I'm
He might
like,
as well
so
start
you pretty
selling. He
much
might as well start selling eggs.
no. I was like, so pretty much you a hooker, and like you a hoe because The only person that's not willing to go out, work, get a job, get back on his feet, get his own place, and then go look for somebody and ask for that stuff, that's one thing. It's a whole nother thing when you just downright refuse. That means you want to be taken care of like a hoe.
Hmm.
You you want to be taken care of like a hoe, and then all you gotta do is give up some ass. And so I was like, oh, so you a hoe? You a hobo hoe? Dang, a hobo
It's
hoe.
all over the place.
Dang,
So, with that being said,
hobo hoes. Mm.
with that being said, I think this. Well, I'm at the on that note. Are you on the note yet, or do
Yes,
you
I
have some
am.
more
Yes,
things
I
you want to
am.
say
Yes,
about
I am.
it? Okay. So, on that note, I think when it comes to relationships, the biggest takeaway is that communication is always key. You need to communicate before you start getting into stuff. Please pay attention to red flags and homosexuals. Be careful what you put out there in on the internet, because once it's there for yet forever, for not
Forever.
just you to see, spectators, but also your children as well as they get older. And we live in a world where there's bullying, cyberbullying, and people who are not nice. Um, when it comes to discernment, discernment. Pay attention to what these people are saying to you. There's some things we allow, and then some things sneak up on us because we weren't paying attention. And stop accepting freaking girlfriend proposals and he acting, operating like he about to ask you to marry him.
Too
That's
damn
all.
grown for that. Too damn grown for that. And like I said, like the stuff we put on, like Sweets just said, the stuff we put on the internet is forever. Um, don't let these red balloon shows confuse you into what's real and what's not. Know for yourself
Hmm.
what you're looking for, and don't refuse to settle for anything less than that. It is nothing wrong with you asking a person, are you here for a long time or a good time, whether you're male or female,
Hmm.
because that lets you know what energy you should bring to the table, or if you want to bring any energy to the table at all. It is, watch out, be ladies, beware these hobo hoes. Beware of these hobo hoes.
You ain't gonna let it die.
I'm not letting it die because that irks me
Cause
as a
you didn't
man.
know it was
It
real.
it just
They
bothers
real.
me. I was like, is this nigga for real? This ain't AI, is it? No, he's
Mm-mm.
for real. But yeah, beware
It's
these
coming
hobo
on
hoes.
Central
And that's
Time.
all I got.
Oh, yeah, homosexuals with jobs, they exist too. Just want to throw that out there.
Right. They do. It's levels
Yeah.
to this. But on that note, this is the Artist and the Thinker podcast. We want to thank you guys for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next go around. Peace.